Hello my fellow nature lovers. Today's video I wanted to talk about cultural programming or the matrix or morals or whatever traditions and misinformation that's been passed down through generations have made it culture, so people are repeated lies enough time to make it culture or part of the reality that feels for them like the truth, so they're living in that matrix. And before I say that, please like, subscribe, so we can spread awareness and the truth and wake up the world. Because in this video, just a deep breath first, everybody. In this video, I wanted to explain the matrix we live in now and the utopia world that's like heaven. Matrix is hell, utopia is heaven, basically. But you can be in heaven while even before heaven is on earth completely. You can be living in the matrix and feeling like you're in heaven. But that's a different part and a different video. That's just about your state of mind. But today I wanted to discuss about where culture come from, or traditions. Misinformation passed down through generations, making it traditions, and then making it part of the culture. So let's start with the biggest one of them all. Who says that eating cats is wrong and eating a pig or a cow is wrong? That's the matrix that we've been told. Because if we're gonna go about culture, here in Europe, for example, everyone would say, what the fuck, don't eat a dog, like, are you crazy, eat a cat? What the fuck are you saying? Those are our pets, those are our friends, why would we eat our friends? Or like, people would react this way, people would be like, that's fucked up, bro. But let's go to a different culture, let's go to China, let's go to some different parts in Asia, where their culture is for hundreds of years that they eat cats and dogs. And what's the difference? The only difference is your morals. And what are your morals? That's the matrix that you've been told. The misinformation that's been passed down through generations of generations that have become your reality, your culture, our culture. But it's all cultural programming. It's a mass hallucination that everybody's living in. It's just... But let's go beyond that. Let's explain it like this. What's the difference between killing a cat or killing a cow? There is no difference. It's a conscious living being. And if we truly understood ourselves, we wouldn't want to kill any living thing. Okay, mosquitoes, if you accidentally slap a bug in your neck when you get bit or something, fine, like, we're not going to be super serious about life, but hurting fully conscious beings is basically like hurting ourselves. Everything is self. If you truly understand the world, it's a reflection of your inner world and the outer world. And if you truly grasp the oneness and how everything is connected, if you go kill a cow, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting nature, because the only thing different between you and nature is your ego. Well, we've been culturally programmed to step out of nature, work against nature, and like live off nature in a harming way. We're always harming nature for oil. We're killing that. We're putting poison there. We're polluting the earth there. We're putting mercury there. It's all a mass hallucination. It's all everybody's defending the matrix without even knowing it. They're thinking that they're doing the best they can with their lives, but they're literally protecting a system that's killing the planet and killing the animals and killing the water, like poisoning the water. After a while, when they've polluted the earth enough, you're not going to be able to drink water. And who's going to be left with their money and do what? What are you going to drink? What are you going to eat? But that's one part of the matrix. Killing animals for food. Not necessary. Fine, people hunted before when they were living in extreme colds and stuff and couldn't do that. But I think we've gone beyond the point where we literally everybody could live in a utopia where everybody has food. You could put communities, like, let's say this part of this place in this land, you have one big garden there for all the people that live there, and it's a volunteer thing. Everybody goes and helps a little bit now and then when they can. And it's a service for everybody in that area to get free food. Not free food, you put in some effort and you get food. And naturally, organic food that's grown locally, so it has all the nutritious things you need. No GMO, no E-numbers, no pesticides when growing it, just organically bio-grown. And then no one would be homeless or hungry, or maybe some people would be homeless because they still want to be homeless, but no one would be starving to death. Because starvation is only a result of greed. If people cared more about life and humans and peace and love over money, then every single person on the planet would be having enough food and having a place to stay. We would take away the power or the people that just care about money. And like, of course we're supposed to have money, be able to travel the world and do that and that, but that's like extras of life. If we just take all the money in the world and we make sure that everybody has an okay living standard, everybody can grow their own food in this area there, all over the world, we make so everybody grows their own food. Boom, that's done. We solve like half of the world's problem. And the nature's going to feel better also, because you're not sending food from Africa to here to get bananas or whatever. You're not sending tomatoes from Sweden to another country because they don't grow that so good there, you know. If we just had every food locally, and the governments or the people in power, the banks, would just stop caring about money as their main priority and care about people's lives and safety and health before getting more and more billions than they already have, all of the world problems would be fixed. But we have no one in power that stands up for having a utopia. So basically, we're living in the matrix where greed rules everything. Literally, money rules all. And I'm not saying that's all bad. Money is neutral. It's not good or bad. It's just money. And what we do with it can be good or bad. Our actions with money can be good or bad. And most people are using money for bad. That's why I would love to get like 200,000 subscribers, 300,000, 1 million, I don't know. And you start charities all over the world and start locally growing food for everybody and just fucking make nature legal and teach kids about growing things, since like most kids don't even know where food comes from. If you go ask people, where does your food come from? They don't know. They don't know that half of their food come from Holland and Spain and there and China and there. And if you ask a kid to go kill a cow, like cut the throat of a cow and then take off the skin and grill the meat, no kid is probably going to want to do that. Most people don't even want to do that. Because we're living in the matrix where we even forgot our connection to where food comes from. Like, we don't know, we don't take responsibility. If you want to eat meat, you got to be responsible enough to kill animals. If you feel like you can't kill animals, stop eating meat. Because why would we eat animals? We can use animal products in a nice way. We can have a local farm. When the cow gets a baby, it's going to give the milk to the baby, and then the baby's going to be finished, and they're still going to have some milk left. You can milk that, make cream, make cheese, whatever, and you can do that without hurting the animal. But we don't have to eat them. We can be friends with all living things on the planet and benefit each other. Because right now the matrix is like the ecosystem. All animals are in this wheel of life. And they even teach you in school, if you take something out of the equation, you're going to fuck up the whole ecosystem of circle of life with animals. But we've taken ourselves out of that system. And we're living completely like we're not part of nature's thing. We're living outside in a sense, like desensitized from nature, feeling like we are separate things. Like we're not part of this ecosystem of nature, because everybody's just getting their fast food in stores, in supermarket, mass produce that, mass there, that. So no one's really understanding that we are just as much animals as the other animals. And we're supposed to be in nature and live with nature and understand where our food comes from, because that's like 101. But imagine we get taught things from the beginning, like a utopia. Every single person, loves themselves as much as they love every single living thing. People, animals, all these things. We treat ourselves like we want to treat others. This is what we teach. Everybody treats others like they want to be treated. And we got that's like basic education for all living humans or things, or aliens. And then we teach them to breed properly since they're kids, and we give them more freedom to explore different talents they have, because everybody's good at the same thing, and you're never gonna find that out if everybody's just sitting at the same desk asking, "Hello, people." Only recorded 10 minutes of the last video, or of the last clip, but then I start again. We're talking about Utopia or Matrix, and I went on a rant for like 20-30 minutes, but I'm gonna break it down simply. If everybody understood where our food comes from, that it should be organic, and we should treat our food with love and respect, and then the food will become more healthy, because it's proven that if you give the right energy to food, or if you say that it's shitty, a flower is shitty, or a growing thing is shitty, it's gonna grow more shitty. But if you put love and respect into growing our food, we're gonna be healthy. We're not gonna need pills. We're not gonna need that. If everybody learned how to breed, locally source their food organically, and stuff like this. Fuck guys, I made an amazing part that got deleted. But basically, it's Matrix versus Utopia. Right now we live in a world with separation is everything. We learn with separation is racism, sex is separation nowadays, LGBTQ, blah blah blah, homos, straights, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's go for something more. Racism, I said that. Politics. Basically, they try to separate us with whatever they can. And if you watch all the news and all these things, everything is owned by the same companies. There's like 6 companies, the World Health Organizations, all these health organizations, everything. It's basically owned by the same people, and they have daughter companies. World Health Organization is bank, is the same company. The bank the WHO use is the same company. They own the bank. They own the World Health Organization, and then they own like 6 more other daughter companies that do all of this circle jerking with their money. So we live in a world of separation where people have forgotten their true spirit, their connection with oneness, their higher self, God, consciousness, divine spirit, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Shiva, Brahman, whatever, Brahman, whatever you want to call it. People, we live in the matrix where the system teaches us to be individualized, low-key create racism and separation through our teachings of things in school. They teach us history that's fake. They teach us about wars that didn't really go the way they explained the wars, because history is his story. It's not our story. It's not the real story. It's not the true story. It's someone who told the story in their favor because they won the war. So if they were the bad guys and they won over the good guys, for example, they're going to say the opposite, and that they were the good guys and these are the bad guys. So history has been manipulated to hide the truth of oneness, of our living. So they separate us through schools, the way to teach us, media. If you listen to the media, the protests there, Black Lives Matters there, this LBHQT, blah, blah, blah. If we go beyond what all the mass medias are saying that's owned by the same people, then we can truly grasp that it's not about the issue that they're putting front, that like LBHQ2, blah, 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 or Black Lives Matters. This is only a distraction from their real agenda to keep us separated. This is like showing that they care about Black lives, so they put that on the media news. And then some people are going to react like, oh, why don't they say about this or that? How can they say about that but not say about this? And there you already started to create separations. So they're basically just feeding us different reasons to get agitated. They're killing in God's name. They're killing for oil all over the world. We're blowing up temples in like whatever in in those kind of countries where there's oil. I don't know exactly, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, I don't know exactly where they're bombing and stuff right now. I'm not super into the mainstream news right now. I used to read a lot about the news and stuff, but I've gone beyond the point where I know that it's just all mass hallucination. It's basically just mass cultural programming to separate us all. And the question is, do we want to live in the matrix where there's a difference between killing a cat or killing a cow? When everybody should realize that killing this animal, killing that animal, is the exact same thing. It's just killing. There is no moral in between. That's just fake propaganda that we believed, fake limited belief system that we've been pushed through to us since we were kids in this matrix that we live in. Or do we want to live in a utopia where we understand that we grow our food locally in a community feeling, even if it's not a community every place that grow their food. You have one garden for every local place, like a big area, and everybody voluntarily goes there to grow food together, and that has nothing to do with like your job or anything like this. It's just a thing that everybody makes sure that the people in their area has food. And you could fund this easily by the government if you wanted every place on earth to eat healthy food. But they don't want you to be healthy. The system, the matrix, wants separation, unhealthy people that are only taught enough to understand their job and not question it. And they don't want people to be healthy because then they get more wise, they become more spiritually connected to the oneness, they're not going to get sick and go to the pharmaceutical companies and get even more sick and stuck in that rat race. And the pharmaceutical companies own the agricultural companies, so that's just enough. They control the food you eat, so you become sick, so you get their pills and become fake healthy, or like suppress the disease for a while so you feel more healthy, but in reality you're just making you more sick and high, basically. And we can shift our view of the world very easily. We can feel like we're in utopia all the time, in our mind, and how we see nature and everything. But the truth of reality is the matrix is still there. There's separation, there's killing for money, there's greed. So, the other part of the video cancelled, but I'm basically going to explain it one more time. The matrix is greed, killing, separation, and power. And all of these things are connected. The greed is connected to money. And right now in the matrix, they value money over lives. They care more about getting their millions and billions of dollars than saving a human life. And that's just the truth. If we truly cared about humanity or nature in general, we would put money aside and we would first solve the world. So nature's having a good time. We're not destroying nature. We're not destroying nature to get the things we need in life for humans to evolve. We could be using biofuels. We don't have to drill for oil. We don't have to poison that lake there. We don't have to release mercury through coal plants or whatever. We could change our way of energy use so much in just like a year if we wanted to. But people are like, no, my big company here is going to get bankrupt, so they pay off some person in power to not ban that kind of energy use or whatever. Whatever, it's so corrupt that money rules everything. Lives don't matter. And it's not someone's fault, but basically people that are in the system and unconsciously protecting the system by the way they're taught. They're in this matrix of cultural programming, lies passed down through generations, made reality and traditions. So there's so much in their egos, because we live in a world where they value individualism and egos and material things. This is the purpose of mainstream society today. It's things, money, and a big ego. That's how you become popular in today's society. That's what they want you to strive for. And that's like the opposite. That's like Satanism, basically, if you're gonna be extreme about it. And it's not benefiting us in any way. In a utopia, we would live with locally sourced food. We would fix starvation all around the world with money. For money would come like second hand. People's lives and health would come first, and we would solve the main issues of polluting nature, killing people there for oil, we're letting people starve there. We would basically take all the money, solve all the eating problems around the world, starvation and sickness. And sickness come from not eating the correct things. So we would teach people how to grow food properly, organically, and we'd put this money on charities around the world to build gardens all around the world so no one has to be hungry and everyone learns how to grow their own food. Boom. And then if you're a kind of person that don't want to grow your own food, then probably we'll have this system where the second priority is money, where you can still earn money and live the kind of life where you don't have to care about every single thing, where the food comes from and that. But for the people that don't want to focus on money, there's an option to live healthy and without stress, just by living and doing in the ancient ways. Grow your own food, build your own house. We gotta show that there's a way to live in a utopia with love and respect for all living things. I'm not only talking about like never slapping a mosquito in your neck because you got bit. That can be just a reflex. You got bit, someone bit you and you boom. I'm talking about the conscious living things like cows, dogs, humans, birds, whatever. If we truly understood ourselves, if we had self-realizations, and in this utopia, you truly in schools and stuff, you learn how to breathe and truly master your relationship with yourself. You don't have self-pity or self-doubt or these egotistical things that we get promoted while growing up in the system. And we truly taught about oneness and how everything's connected in the microcosm or the macrocosm. And truly, we're taught about this utopia that we can feel sometimes when we meditate or take psychedelics and we reach this stage of oneness. If that was the general beliefs that were taught out in the system, the oneness, the love and respect for all living things, that respect and kindness goes over money, and hate comes from the unloved. If you hate things, you hate a part of yourself because everything is connected. Only the unloved hate things. And these are also just like limited belief systems that we're grown up to accept. Well, we gotta accept them to change them. But we've grown up into these systems and like, it's just reality, it's just the truth. There is no bigger purpose in life if you look at mainstream society. It's just get a job, get a house, do this, blah, blah, earn money so you can buy food. And it's not like, where does food come from? Are we part of the ecosystem in nature? Why are we living against nature then that when nature dies, we're also gonna die? Why are we polluting the earth so other animals are dying and we don't really care, but once it gets to a point, it means that we're dying too, because we're also animals on this earth. And it's the Matrix versus Utopia, heaven on earth. And every day we spread the truth about pharmaceutical companies, about organic food, about the true nature of religion and spirituality, not these manipulated things that we can read in the Bible and things. The truth is in all religions and in all spiritual practices. The main truth, the oneness, that we're all connected, is in there somewhere. Treat your people nice, treat yourself like you want to treat others, and these kind of things. They are the same in all of them. It's just that they've been manipulated. I just want to ask you guys, do you want to live in a utopia where money is not the priority? Like in hell Matrix right now, it's greed, money, killing, power, divide and conquer, separation. Or do you want to live as one together but still have individualized homes and things like this, but have a community feeling with all living humans, respect each other, love everybody in the ground basis, no hate, no hating one another, because hating one another is hating yourself. And the money isn't fueled, the society isn't fueled on money. It's run by philosophers, spiritual people, doesn't even have to be spiritual, but philosophers, religious, spiritual people that truly care about one another and nature and the progression of the whole planet as one, instead of money, power, and greed. Those are the kind of leaders we want in the world to get a utopia. We want to elect the spiritual leaders as the actual leaders of the world. That's just my opinion. Like, I would be super happy if we let like Eckhart Tolle or Alan Watts or even Sadhguru make basic laws about living. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just where food comes from, how to eat it, when to eat it, the mass production, the greed. I'm just rambling on. I just want to know, do you guys want to live in a utopia with heaven on earth, or do you want to live in the matrix hell? I think I know the answer. And to get to the utopia, more than just within yourself, first is self-realizations, the realizations of self. Truly going beyond self-pity, emotions, and identifications with limited belief systems that doesn't serve us anymore. And just going beyond all that into the true realizations of self. And then you're going to feel pure bliss if you haven't reached this yet. So, what do you guys think? Do you want leaders like now, with political leaders that just care about money, greed, and power? Or would society benefit more? Would we get a utopia faster through having spiritual leaders? Or do you think it should stay the matrix way? What do you guys think? I'm a little bit not fully satisfied with this video, because I made an amazing video, but it cut out. So you guys are going to have to be happy with this one. I love you all. Peace out. Utopia or Matrix.